Bitcoin's going to be the most profitable during this time. Then this little top right here is when the altcoins are going to have their heyday. That's phase 4. That's when your grandma's talking about crypto. That's when Elon Musk is pumping everything. That's when all of that stuff happens in phase 4. Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today, right now, phase 2, phase 3, it's going to be all about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to be the most profitable to the upside, and it's going to be the least amount of losses to the downside for probably the next year. We'll probably be in phase 2 and 3 for the next year. I still have my bet. If we don't get above 38,000 by December, I have to shave my head and I have to shave my face. Thoughts on Caspa is the biggest whales in the market have been and will continue to be the miners. Okay, there is a huge gap in the market right now between from where we had Ethereum proof of work. That hole is there and somebody is going to win. Okay, somebody is going to win that mining war. My bet personally is on Ergo as far as GPU mining. However, Caspa seems to be leading the way, and whoever wins that war is going to be a player. So I think that Caspa was definitely like easily the most profitable coin of 2023, and that's because like the biggest whales in the market are the miners. So you have it's a really good idea to pay attention to what are the miners doing. What are the miners doing? Buy $25 of Bitcoin and ETH every day forever. That's not a bad strategy. You guys know that Ethereum used to be Ethereum Classic, right? And I knew that it got exploited. I'm giving you guys the story of Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Someone routed transactions and everyone agreed to this. Knowingly or unknowingly, obviously they probably didn't know, but they still agreed to it. The transactions went to his wallet, and then the developers, because it was an exploit of sorts, even though it really wasn't, everyone agreed to this and they did it. The developers went behind the transaction and they made it so that the transaction never happened. So basically you have almost like a split, a fork in the matrix, if you will, like two different timelines. It's like a time machine happened. You went back in time and you squashed the butterfly, or you didn't, and you have completely separate realities. That is exactly what's happened with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic, the transactions did happen, which they really did. And Ethereum proper, the transactions never happened. But the thing is, everyone agreed that the transactions happened and the developer said that it didn't. That to me is a problem, is we will pump because of money printing. It doesn't necessarily need to be money printing that pumps the market. That is a way of pumping the market, but another way is rotating liquidity from the bond market, from the stock market, from the reverse repos is really the one where it's going to come from. If we look at the reverse repos real quick, literally trillions of dollars are sitting currently, and this thing is crashing, by the way. This thing is literally crashing. So let's go on the weekly time frame. So for all of history, this thing it just hung out at we'll call it $80 billion. And then we had a huge spike during the recession that was silent because people were making money from the treasury securities sold by the Federal Reserve and temporary open market. That's what the reverse repo is. Okay, so we went all the way up to $2.5 trillion. And now we are crashing and likely going to be crashing all the way back down to a minimum of $180 billion. So that is over $1 trillion of liquidity that has to go somewhere because it's not going to be in the reverse repos. So liquidity doesn't necessarily need to come from printing. It can come from printing, but it doesn't necessarily need to come from printing. And in fact, I don't think that it will come from printing during this bull market. I think that it will come from rotating of assets, such as BlackRock, Fidelity, Chase, Charles Schwab, the 401ks, everyone's 401k rotating into 1 to 5% holding in Bitcoin. That is a huge number. All of these different, so you have your reverse repos, there's about $1 trillion of liquidity right there. It doesn't necessarily it's all going to go to Bitcoin, but some of it will. And then you have about $50 trillion in hedge funds that have all filed for Bitcoin ETFs. Even 1% of that is a crazy number. So the money printing and the liquidity doesn't necessarily need to come from money printing. In fact, I don't think it will this particular bull run. I actually think when the Fed turns on the money printer, that is bad. They turned it on for a reason. So that will likely be the start of a pretty big economic downturn when they actually turn on the money printer.